King of Foxes, Conclave of Shadows, Book 2, by Raymond E. Feist, read by Peter Joyce. Part 1. Agent. In the service of Caesar, everything is legitimate. Pierre Corneille, La Marthe de Pompey. Chapter 1. Return. A bird soared over the city. Its eyes sought out a figure in the throng on the docks, one man amidst the teeming surge of humanity, occupying the harbour side during the busiest part of the day. The port of Roldham, harbour to the capital city of the island kingdom of the same name, was one of the most crowded in the Sea of Kingdoms. Trade goods and passengers from the Empire of Great Kesh, the Kingdom of the Isles, and half a dozen lesser nations nearby came and went daily. The man under scrutiny wore the travel clothes of a noble, all sturdy weave and easily cleaned, with fastenings which allowed him to remain comfortable in all weathers. He sported a jacket designed to be worn off the left shoulder, leaving his sword arm unencumbered. Upon his head was a black beret, adorned with a silver pin and a single grey feather, and upon his feet he wore sturdy boots. His luggage was being offloaded and would be conveyed to the address he had specified. He travelled without servant, which, while unusual for a noble, was not unheard of, for not all nobles were wealthy. He paused for a brief second to drink in the sights. Around him people scurried, porters, sailors, stevedores, and teamsters. Wagons loaded so high their wheels appeared on the verge of buckling rolled slowly by him. Cargo heading into the city or out to the ferry barges, which would load them onto outbound ships. Roldham was a busy port by any standard. Not only were goods delivered here, but also transshipped, for Roldham was the trading capital of the Sea of Kingdoms. Everywhere the young man looked, he saw commerce. Men bargaining over the cost of goods to be sold in distant markets, others negotiating the price of offloading a cargo, or insuring one against pirates or loss at sea. Still others were agents of trading concerns, eagerly watching for any sign that might prove an advantage to their sponsors. Men who sat in coffee-houses as far away as Crondor, or as close as the Traders' Exchange, just one street away from where the young man now stood. They would dispatch young boys with notes who would run to those men who awaited news on arriving cargo, men trying to sense a shift in a distant market before buying or selling. The young man resumed his walk and avoided a gang of urchins dashing past with determined boyish purpose. He forced himself not to pat his purse, for he knew it was still where it was supposed to be, but there was always the possibility the boys were sent by a gang of pickpockets on the lookout for a fat purse to rob. The young man kept his eyes moving, seeking out any potential threat. He saw only bakers and street vendors, travellers, and a pair of guardsmen. It was exactly who he would have expected to see in the crowd on Roldham's docks. Looking down from above, the soaring bird saw in the press of the crowd that another man moved along a parallel course, and at the same pace as the young noble. The bird circled and observed the second man, a tall traveller with dark hair, who moved like a predator, easily keeping his eye upon the other man, but using passers-by as cover, dodging effortlessly through the crowd, never falling behind, but never getting close enough to be discovered. The young noble was fair-skinned but sun-browned, his blue eyes squinting against the day's glare. It was late summer in Roldham, and the dawn mists and fog had fled, burned off by mid-morning to a brilliant sunny sky, made tolerable
Sample complete. Ready to continue?